Hello, this is Essie, the homeless woman. I wanted to give y'all an update of how it's been going at work. You know, I do Uber, and so I've been having issues with the riders in the front seat. When I first started doing Uber, it was doing I don't even know if I can say it. 2020, 2021. You know what happened, what took place around that time. I don't want my channel to get strike or whatever. I don't know. I know they still don't want you to say certain things. So, you know what made everybody stay home. So that's when I started doing Uber. And at the time, they didn't want anyone to sit in the front seat because of that. So the vehicles that, like a car, it can take up to 4 riders, 3 in the back, 1 on the passenger side. Well, during that time, a car can only take 3. So they would say if it was 4 or more, you need to order an XL vehicle, which is a minivan or a SUV. So it was cool with me because I didn't want nobody sitting in the front seat anyway. And I know when you take a taxi, you don't sit in the front seat, you sit in the back. So after that was lifted, then they went back to a car can take 4 riders. A minivan can take 6 riders. SUVs can take 6 riders. So the first minivan I had, it was a 7-passenger, so that was me and 6 people. So I wanted me an 8-passenger minivan because then I would have people contacting me, can you take 7? And so, you know, you're not supposed to, everybody's supposed to have a seat belt. So I wanted me an 8-passenger, and that's what I got. I got an 8-passenger van. So now I could take 7 riders. But Uber don't have an option for 7 riders. They only have an option for 6 riders. So then, because my van can hold 8 people, 3 in the back, 3 in the middle. And so once I decided that I'm not going to let anyone sit in the front unless they're disabled, senior, or I get 7 people, it's been so much better. And for any Uber and Lyft drivers that is watching this video, my mother was taking a Uber one day to the dealership where she got her car, and she had her friend with her. She had a couple of people with her. So the dealership had requested an Uber to pick them up from the mall and take them back to the dealership. Well, that Uber driver did not want anybody to sit in front. So it was a car. So they all had to squeeze in that back row. And they were complaining about it. And so my mother asked me, isn't people supposed to ride in the front seat? I said, well, you can. Yeah, you can ride in the front seat, but it's really up to the driver. And I told her how people act when they get in the front seat. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they slam your door really hard, even though I got a sign up there that said close gently. They do it on purpose. And they're constantly looking back, and they looking at my direction, talking, I'm hoping they don't spit on me. And it's hard to concentrate. It's a distraction. It is nothing but a distraction. And the loudest person always wants to be in the front. The most loudest person. So, after I had prayed about it, and Yahweh was telling me in my heart that if you don't want nobody to sit in the front, don't allow them to sit in the front. It's your van. It's your rules. And I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. Because when I get off work, I'm upset. The whole time somebody's sitting there and they're loud and obnoxious, I'm just like having a miserable time. And so I'm the one working all these hours. Stay in my van for about 15 minutes or so, and then they're out. I got to go on all day with this. So sometimes there are 4 people. Somebody wants to sit in the front. So once I decided that I'm not going to let anybody sit in the front anymore, I've been having much better days. Much better. Yesterday was Saturday. I did Uber all day. Well, not all day, but about, I think, 6 hours I did Uber. And nobody sat in front. Absolutely nobody. And the day was much better. Now, there is some people that have an issue with it. I had one man. He was kind of tall, but he could still fit in that middle row just fine. I have to seat up some so he could fit just fine. But I even put a sign there, so I don't want people to think, oh, I'm just being mean or I'm picking on certain people. I even put a sign in the front, like on the dash, saying no riders in the front seat. So instead of asking me, they will see the sign and automatically go to the back. Some do, some don't. They open the door and they ask me if they can get in the front, even after they have seen the sign. And I tell them no. So one lady last night, she was coming for that front door handle. She opened that door, she saw the sign. And I keep stuff in that seat, a couple of things. And she saw the stuff in the seat. She still tried to sit down. She tried to put her leg in to sit down, but she seen the stuff. And you know, you just don't move somebody's stuff. And so she asked me if she can sit in the front. And I shook my head. She got mad. She slammed my door. That's one of the main reasons why I don't want riders in the front, because they slam your door. It's very disrespectful to slam somebody's door when that is not necessary on a newer vehicle. You don't need to slam that door. Slamming doors will cause the door, window, whatever, to start rattling after a long period of time of people constantly slamming the door. It's going to cause the door to make noises and stuff. That's common sense. And so I got one man and one guy. He said, can I ride shotgun? I said, no, I don't allow nobody in the front seat. And he saw the sign and still asked. I'm like, what's up with these people? What is up with these people that they still have to ask you after you see the sign saying no riders in the front seat? So the other night, I think it was Friday night, I picked up a group of, it was either 5 or 6, I can't remember. But this man wanted this other man to sit in the front because he said he got long legs. And I said no. And so he went back and forth with me to get this man to sit in the front. I was like, no. Because I didn't feel like the man needs to sit in the front. He can sit in the middle. There's plenty of room in the middle for him to sit. And I can move the seat up if need be. But after I kept saying no to him, then he started asking, could he sit in the front? I was like, no. So I'm like, what is up? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But, so they got in, and the tall man wasn't happy. He made a comment, well, you paid for XL, so technically the front seat is supposed to be available. And I said to him, you paid for 6 passengers, and 6 passengers can sit back there without anyone being in the front seat. Some reason these people think that they have a right to the front seat, and they don't have a right to the front seat. If I could take 6 without anybody being in that front seat, that's what you pay for, then that's how it's going to be. You paid to get from point A to point B. That's what you paid for. You didn't pay extra for a certain seat. So there was a lady that left a comment on one of my videos about she drives for Lyft, and she drives a car just like that Uber driver. They drive a car. It is up to you whether you want somebody in that front seat or not. And if you decide, even with a car, that you don't want somebody in that front seat, now your passengers goes from 4 to 3. You can let them know by text before you get to the destination, get to their pickup destination. You can contact them and let them know, I can only take 3 people. If I did not have an 8-passenger van and I had a 7, I can let them know I can only take 5. And then I can cancel the ride. Or they can cancel it if they need 6 people, or if someone need a car with 4 people. But for some reason, these people think that our cars are Uber's cars, or our cars, once they pay, they have a right to sit anywhere they want, and they don't. So, it really lets me see that some people, in dealing with these people, some people, I believe, are spoiled. They have been raised, and their parents have told them yes to everything. If you come across a person like me, I'm doing Uber, this is my vehicle, and they see the sign saying no riders in the front, and yet they still ask anyway, and I tell them no, and they get mad. To me, that person is a person that parents have always told them yes, 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 yes. And when the parent tell them no, they act out. They act a fool. They have temper tantrums. So those kids grow up to become adults that do not want to be told no. It's crazy. The things that parents do to their kids when they constantly tell them yes to everything. You make that child is going to become an adult one day, and then they're going to give everybody else hell because they ain't going to want to be told no. So, but I tell you this much, I've been having better days. I've been doing Uber and a lot more peace, having my own personal space. It's been so much better. I've been getting off work and I'm not all upset. Also, when it's like older people, like I picked up a group of 6 older people. And so one man, he was really loud and he was going for the front door. See, the loudest one is always in the front. He was loud, he was going for the front door. I got out of my car so I could move the seat for them, and I'm like, he is not sitting in the front with all that noise. And so right when I came around my van, I told him I don't allow anyone in the front seat. And he said, well, can you still take 6? I said, yes. And he said, okay. So older people don't have a problem with it, because older people, we grew up with rules. We grew up with being told no. We grew up with stricter parents, so we just had to deal with it. It ain't the end of the world. But these younger people today have not been grown up with all the rules and being told no like older people have. They have grown up with parents that says yes to everything. The law saying you can't do this and you can't do that to the child. So now we got a bunch of people that don't want to be told no, even if it's your own property. They feel like they have a right to it. So that's all I wanted to say, is update you guys about work and how much better it's been going, because there's sometimes I feel like I want to quit doing this. But Yahweh, he always finds another way. He always finds a way for me in any situation that I'm going through. I will pray to him and he will find a way. Like when people started throwing up in my van, I'm like, I wanted to quit. I had bought a brand new van. I'm like, you don't want nobody throwing up in your brand new van. I wanted to quit. I'm like, what can I do about this? Talking to Yahweh. Yahweh pops in my head, go and get a bucket. Line the bucket with a bag, a shopping bag. I said, that's a good idea. So that's what I did. I went and got a bucket. I get bags from like Walmart, Dollar Tree, those thick bags that cost 10 cents in California. And I lined it. And so when anybody looks like they done had too much to drink, I put that bag, that trash bag, that bucket in the back. Here you go, just in case you get sick. And if they too sloppy drunk, I keep going and cancel the ride. Because 9 times out of 10, that's probably what's going to happen. They're going to throw up. So he gave me a way to deal with that when I wanted to quit. Whenever there's a situation, Yahshua, he says, I am the way. Yahshua is the way to salvation. But I saw in a dream that not only is he the way to salvation, but he is also the way to anything. If you told no, he will find another way around that no. If there's something blocking, or like with my situation, people throwing up, he found another way around that, is by getting a bucket and they throwing up in the bucket. I have had several people that throw up in the bucket, and sometimes they give me a nice fat tip after they have thrown up in the bucket. So he can find ways from around anything. I remember one time I had this was a while ago before I started working. I was homeless, and people in their discrimination. They didn't want to let you use the restroom. And so I was sitting there. I was just so disgusted, how people are. I never go in the restroom and make a mess. But some people just don't like homeless people. And so they mean and they discriminate against them. And it's so strange to me, because one day they might be homeless. And they wouldn't want someone treating them like that. So I remember needing to use the restroom really bad. And I was like, where can I go? And this night I didn't have much gas, so I couldn't go far. And something said, go to the movie theater. They're open late. And I was like, so true. And so I went to the movie theater and used the restroom. When things happen, whatever it may be, and you feel like giving up, just pray and ask for another way around, and he will always provide another way around anything, any problem that you're having. All right, I'll talk to you guys in another video. Bye.